Scorpio, this message is finding you for a reason. The pain you tried to hide, the loss you never fully spoke about. The nights you stayed strong while breaking inside, God saw all of it. What you thought broke your heart was actually clearing space. Right now, something sacred is happening within you. Your heart is quietly healing, and the peace replacing that loss will shock you. This isn't coincidence, and it isn't late. Stay with me, because by the end of this message, you'll understand why what you lost had to leave, and why what's coming will finally feel like peace. Scorpio, you are not here by accident. This message is reaching you at a moment when your heart has carried more than it should have. You loved deeply, trusted fully, and when things fell apart, you chose silence over chaos. But what many don't understand is that Scorpio feels everything at a soul level. Right now, the season of loss is ending. A quiet transformation is taking place within you. God is gently healing the wounds you thought would never close. And in place of what was taken, He is restoring peace, strength, and emotional clarity, one layer at a time. Scorpio's recent pain and emotional loss. Scorpio, the pain you went through was not small, and it was not ordinary. You didn't just lose a person, a connection, or a situation. You lost a version of yourself that believed things would last. You stayed loyal, even when it hurt. You held on longer than you should have, hoping things would change. And when they didn't, you walked away quietly, carrying the weight alone. What made it harder was the silence. You didn't explain your pain to everyone. You didn't beg for understanding. You chose strength, even when your heart felt shattered. Nights felt heavier. Memories replayed without warning. And even when you smiled on the outside, something inside felt empty. Scorpio pain runs deep because your heart loves deeply. When something ends, it doesn't just end on the surface, it echoes in your soul. You questioned your worth. You wondered why you had to go through so much loss while giving so much love. But what you didn't see then was this. The breaking was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to release you from what was draining your spirit. This loss pushed you to your emotional limit. And that is exactly where transformation begins. Signs. Your heart is already healing. Scorpio, even if you don't fully realize it yet, your heart has already begun to heal. Healing dosan tiaribe loudly. It comes quietly, gently, in ways that feel almost invisible at first. One of the first signs is emotional release. You don't cry the same way anymore. The pain that once overwhelmed you now passes through without controlling you. The memories still exist, but they no longer have the same power over your emotions. You may notice moments of calm appearing unexpectedly, small pockets of peace where your mind feels clear, even if only for a few minutes. This is not numbness. This is restoration. Your soul is learning how to breathe again after holding everything in for so long. Another sign is detachment. You're no longer chasing closure or answers from the past. What once demanded your attention now feels distant. You're protecting your energy without guilt. That's healing. You're no longer blaming yourself for what went wrong. Instead, you're starting to understand that not everything you lost was meant to stay. Your intuition is sharpening again. You trust yourself more. You feel stronger setting boundaries. And most importantly, you're no longer afraid of being alone, because you're reconnecting with yourself. Scorpio, this is not weakness. This is emotional rebirth. The storm has passed, and what remains is a calmer, wiser heart preparing for something better. Divine intervention. God is working quietly. Scorpio, while you were focused on surviving the pain, God was quietly rearranging your life. Divine intervention doesn't always come as a miracle you can see. Sometimes it comes as protection you don't recognize at first. What felt like loss was actually removal. What felt like rejection was redirection. God stepped in the moment your heart could no longer carry what it was holding. You may not have noticed it immediately, but doors closed for a reason. Conversations ended to protect your peace. Attachments broke because they were draining your spirit. God never takes something without a purpose. When something leaves your life, despite your effort, it's often because it no longer aligns with who you're becoming. Right now, healing is happening beneath the surface. God is replacing confusion with clarity, restlessness with calm, emotional chaos with inner peace. You are being guided away from pain and towards stability. This process is quiet because it is sacred. There is no rush, no force, only alignment. Trust this phase, Scorpio. God is not testing you. He is restoring you. And what's being built within you now will last far longer than what you lost. Why the loss was necessary for Scorpio. Not every loss comes to punish you. Some losses arrive to free you. What left your life wasn't taken lightly. It was removed because it could no longer walk with the version of you that was emerging. You are holding on to something that required you to shrink, to tolerate less than you deserved, to stay silent when your soul needed truth. That kind of attachment slowly disconnects you from yourself. This loss was necessary because it forced you to face your inner strength. It showed you where you were overgiving, overtrusting, and God allowed this ending so you could reclaim your power without guilt. Scorpio energy transforms through endings, and this was a chapter that had already fulfilled its purpose. You didn't lose because you failed. You lost because you outgrew what you were holding on to. What once felt familiar had become heavy. This separation wasn't about abandonment. It was about alignment. God removed what was blocking your emotional growth so you could step into clarity, self-respect, and peace. Sometimes the heart must break open so the soul can finally breathe. Tease, los was. T, the end of your story, Scorpio. It was the moment your healing truly began. What God is replacing the loss with. Scorpio. God never leaves an empty space in your life. What was taken is now being replaced, not with something louder, but with something deeper. The first thing entering your life is peace. Not the kind that depends on people or situations, but the kind that settles inside your chest and stays. You're learning how to feel calm without needing explanations, apologies, or validation. God is also restoring your emotional balance. Where there was constant overthinking, clarity is forming. Where your heart once felt heavy, there is now room to breathe. You're becoming more selective with your energy, more protective of your emotions, and more aware of what truly deserves your time. Teases growth, not isolation. Another replacement is you are no longer questioning your intuition the way you used to. You're listening to your inner voice again, and it's guiding you toward healthier connections and aligned choices. Love will return too, but this time it will feel safe, mutual, and peaceful, not draining or uncertain. Scorpio, what's coming won't repeat the past. It will respect you. God is not just giving you something new, He's giving you something better, something that matches the healed version of your heart. Scorpio, this is the moment where everything begins to settle. You are being asked to trust, not blindly, but deeply. Trust that what ended did so for your protection. Trust that what hurt you was never meant to define you. And trust that God's timing, even when it felt slow or confusing, was always precise. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means releasing the emotional weight you no longer need to carry. You don't have to replay the past to honor what you felt. You don't have to hold on to pain to prove how much you cared. Your heart has already learned its lesson. Now it's time to receive. Receive peace without guilt. Receive love without fear. Receive stability without chaos. This new phase isn't about struggle. It's about alignment. You are stepping into a calmer version of yourself. One that doesn't chase, beg, or doubt. One that knows its worth and trusts its path. Scorpio, you survived the breaking. Now allow yourself to live in the healing. What's ahead will feel lighter, safer, and more real, because it's built on truth, not pain. Scorpio, this message came to you because your heart is ready. You didn't break. You transformed. What you endured quietly has reshaped you into someone calmer, wiser, and emotionally stronger. You are no longer meant to suffer in silence or question your worth. God has seen your tears, your patterns, and your strength, and He is answering you with peace. If this message resonated with you, it's because your healing is real and already in motion. Don't rush the process. Don't look back. at what drained you. What's leaving your life is making room for something aligned, something safe, something lasting. Take a moment and comment, peace, if you're ready to release the past and receive what God is preparing for you. Stay connected, Scorpio. Your journey isn't ending. It's entering its most peaceful chapter yet.